Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Oh boy. Oh boy. If sports gambling was legal, I wouldn't do it, just because when I see things like this, when I watched the Lakers game versus the Mavs last night, if sports gambling was legal, I would think that game would be fixed. Oh, hold on, wait. Sports gambling is legal. Oh boy. If it looked suspicious before in a lot of these sports, wow, you could just like pinpoint the suspicion now as being accurate. Whoa. They're going to call me a conspiracy theorist. I like that word because that's all history has been, a big conspiracy where people have conspired, right? From your government to drug dealers to bad people to people we told were good. All they did was conspire. Conspiracy theorists or theory. So somebody once told me, once you have any kind of evidence, just a piece of evidence, it's no longer a conspiracy, right? Now, do you have all the evidence and do you have all the pieces of the puzzle to solve the mystery? Maybe not. But what I can tell you is, what the hell? I'm not believing what my eyes seen last night. And the way that game ended, first of all, let's talk about the way the game ended first, okay? And I ain't talking about the last minute shot or nothing like that. I'm talking about the Lakers pretty much not caring about they just lost to a team without not just all-star players, the team's all-star players, but these are all-time great NBA players, right? All NBA. Most likely Hall of Fame. I don't see what would trip them up at this point for making Hall of Fame. I actually don't need, well, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not gonna try to get other people's skin this morning. But yeah. And the Mavs had lost like a whole bunch in a row without these guys, Kyrie and Luka. And you have AD and LeBron James over there. Probably this year, 2 All-NBA, right? 2 All-Stars, 2 Hall of Fame, 2 top 75 players, right? 2 top 10 players in the league. What am I missing here, guys? As I see this game end, and basically no worry for LeBron James and a lot of these Lakers, as they're basically laughing it up and dapping up the Mavs. Like, this didn't really happen last night, folks. Like, it really didn't happen. What? You just got manhandled by some role players. And you're trying to tell me the fix, the rig isn't in? Who had this right? And who had the numbers right? Who had the numbers right and who had the game? You're trying to tell me how many people picked up Mavs? A team without their best players. It's some of the best players in the league. It's some of the best players of all time. Who the hell had the Lakers losing to the Mavs? Who had it? And who had it right, folks? Who had it right? Well, I can tell you, ain't no damn way, unless you're a gambling genius or you're in on the fix, that you would have picked the Mavs to manhandle the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, they manhandled, man. That thing was close. Go look at the final score. It was the Mavs kind of let the Lakers hang in there if you look at the game. And if you look at the game also, the refs let the Lakers stay in that game. LeBron James out there playing like a retarded, like a retarded child, or like I'm serious. This guy gets a handicap all the time. It would be like if a woman would be on the court and you're out there playing basketball, you're gonna let her shoot. You're not gonna block her shot, right? You might let her score. You know, these type of things. This is LeBron now. This guy just barrels into people. Boom, 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 boom. They ought to make a video game of this guy's actual basketball game at this point. And, you know, get the sound effects of this guy barreling into people, elbows and straight arms. We need that, folks. We need that. This guy, dudes is backing up not to get barreled into, but they can only go so far, and he's still pushing them 2, 3. I saw this guy push a defender in the paint like 3 times. Dislodging people off the court. What's going on here? Folks, this is why I told you guys before. This is not a real sports league. These are not real refs. They don't call carry, travel and carry, right? And these aren't real NBA coaches. Are we serious? Once you get people used to something for a long time, they just get used to it. They have nothing else to adapt to or acknowledge. So this is what they'll take. Well, that's what they'll take, right? It is trash. It's what they'll take. Are you kidding me? You go back and look at other head coaches. Are you kidding me? Legendary head coaches that will scream at you while you're on the floor, while you're coming back to the bench, all this stuff. These aren't real head coaches, folks. These are guys that sit around and pat these guys on the back. These aren't real head coaches. Real head coaches don't let the players run the team. Right? He might be in on it with one player, but for the most part, the coach runs the team, the schemes, everything. You're going to practice. You don't come to practice, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be consequences. Do you see how mad do you see these coaches today? Go back in the day, these coaches was boiling over. You would have thought these coaches would be out there on the damn court playing. No. But that's what it seemed like they were doing because they took their job serious. They want to be an all-time coach. They wanted to win. These aren't coaches, folks. Whatever you want to call them, I don't care what coach it is in the NBA that have no discipline for their players. You can call them what you want to call them. We can do a whole video on why these aren't real coaches. We can do a whole video on why these guys aren't real refs. A separate video on both. Guys, this ain't rocket science. So yeah, LeBron James is like the retarded kid. Or, you know, LeBron James is like, you know, this guy really ain't got no basketball skill. You know, the sun will shine on his ass once in a blue moon, and he will put up all these stats. He's letting dudes get free shots. What's going on with this? He don't want to cover his man, so he say, watch out for him. What do you mean, watch out? I'm on my man. What do you mean, watch out for your man? And then his man hits a 3 because he wants to get a damn rebound, or he doesn't want to go out to the 3-point line. Folks, can you have your money back? This is what I'm going to say about the Mavs fans. And this can relate to any fans in this era. Could you imagine LeBron James? No. Yes, we'll say it like that. Could you imagine LeBron James having today, or the past, 5 years, having to play in the midst of real Dallas fans? Real Dallas fans. Like he played in the midst of real Dallas fans in 2011. Right? And they ate this guy's lunch. He was intimidated. Guys, this is what I want you to do. I want you to watch old NBA basketball, whether it's the 80s, the 90s, and listen to that fan base. It's the craziest thing you ever heard. It's crazy how loud these fans get. I'm not just talking about taunting. I'm talking about like when their team is winning, when their team is on a spur, a run, It's the craziest thing you ever. It's so loud. You don't hear nothing like that today. You don't. A lot of these fans are not real basketball fans. These guys just came to see entertainment, which is fine, whatever. Back in the day, a LeBron James will be heckled from end to end until the end, right? You can barely hear anything or see anybody saying anything to him while he's playing. And the guy is a joke. Yes, somebody will say something rarely in these arenas, but back in the day, they gonna give it to this dude because they don't respect him. This dude sitting here crying all game. Hey man, he touched me. What is this? He doesn't do much. So if he does anything to Reggie Miller, all signs is that Jesus will be here any day now. Don't let this guy do anything that's supposed to be affiliated with, related to basketball. You won't hear the end of it from Reggie Miller. You just won't, folks. We've never seen nothing like that. A guy get an assist, a guy do a layup, a guy do a dunk, a guy come back in the game, a guy play so many games. You never hear the end. And then what they did was they set up Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was sitting on the bench and the Lakers were getting rolled. So they decide to bring back in sit LeBron James and bring in Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis could try to, I don't know, maybe fix it. I don't know. And once they saw the role players on the Mavs weren't having it, they had to bring back in LeBron so he could stat pad. See, now JJ Redick is a I won't say he's a good actor. He's not a good actor to me, right? Kind of like when we talked about Perk, right? He tries to be this, dumb, funny guy, but he's just dumb. He's just stupid. He's not. He tries to be like a Charles Barkley. He's not. He can't. This is what you call, I won't even say C-list talent. Maybe, I don't know, Q-list talent. That's what Kendrick Perkins is, right? He's horrible in the eyes too. He just makes you want to, you better not be having a bad day, a bad stomach or anything like that, because if you're having a bad stomach and you got to look at Perk, oh my God, it's going to make it worse, man. I bet all the women at ESPN run away from this guy. Oh, he's horrible. He's bad to look at. I wouldn't even come outside. But if I made tens of millions of dollars in my career, like, they claim they do, I won't be coming outside anyway if I was him. But anyways, let's get back on the topic that there's no excuse for this, folks. There's no excuse. Oh, let me finish what I was saying about that. So once they found out, I'm sure they knew it. They knew the game was rigged. But let's just say, let's play the acting game. Once they supposedly knew that the game was over, they knew they weren't going to come back. Guess what? Now they pull an epic move. They put in Bronny James, folks. And tell me if I'm wrong, because I've been looking at this forever, right? I've been looking at this forever, and I'm like, okay, did Bronny James play tonight? Nope. Every time I look on the box score, he's not playing. And let me know if he has played of recent in any NBA games, but every time I look, he's not in the game. And it's surprising to me that this guy got a guaranteed contract. He got, picked in the second round, and now they're saying he's doing good down in the D League, the G League, whatever it is, the girls league. And so I'm surprised they ain't been putting him in there, because you're only going to learn to play NBA players by playing NBA players. Nobody expects this guy to go in there and put up a whole bunch of points. That was the NBA that put this kind of stress on that man to be this top performer when he first came into the league. But anyways, so JJ Redick acts like he doesn't see enough. That's enough. And he calls timeout. I don't know, what was like 2 minutes left or something like that. And he unloads the bench, right? Because most people thought, just going to keep LeBron James in there so he can stat pad. It was over a long time ago. They could have took LeBron out a long time ago instead of him stat padding. But looked like he was wanting to get the ball to them more than anything, right? So he can keep giving them the blame. So yeah, they brought in Bronny, and Stuff like that. That's what JJ Redick was trying to make it look like. This is just out of control. These guys don't want to listen to me. These guys, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing an unthinkable move. I'm unloading my bench and I'm sitting LeBron and he's not going to be on the stat pad and I'm bringing in his son to, get his seconds. And, I'm showing them I'm the coach. What a joke. What a complete joke. These guys put on the biggest show. And you got to give it to them, man. Like I said, at the end of this game, what was going on? What was there to celebrate? There was like a celebration on the court. And for the Mavs, fine. I get it. You just won a game that looked rigged to me. But there's a celebration on the court with the Lakers players and the Mavs players like they just won the NBA Finals. Like they just won a playoff series. I mean, what? What's going on, folks? There should be no celebration for the Lakers. What is the celebration about? I don't get it. What are you celebrating? You just got beat by some role players, and are they celebrating splitting this money in Vegas? That they just fixed this game up? What's going on, folks? And that's why I said, when you come to my channel, it's going to be different, folks, because I don't look at things as if I'm making monetized money, because I'm not making monetized money. So, and that's the reason why they never monetize me, because I don't think like these other people. Yes, I can think like them and say stuff like them, but you got to look at the overall bigger picture, right? As far as what they're trying to give you in life. And, if they're giving me a bowl of poop, it's not Jell-O to me. So, that's what I'm good. The NBA is a joke, folks. Especially when it comes to the Lakers. It's a complete joke. It's a complete joke. I don't know what else. When you're watching a Lakers game, it don't even seem like a real basketball game. It don't. Because as this guy LeBron James is doing the dumbest things on the court, the play-by-play guys are just slurping all over this guy. Are you real men? Golly, my play-by-play guys, my color analysts back in the day, I'm happy they did not call games in this era. Actually, some of them still do. But I used to love a guy like Bill Walton. Oh, man. It's like this guy used to take off his belt and whoop these guys. He used to tell them what they was doing wrong and what they were doing right. It didn't matter what guy it was. Now, I did catch Bill Walton at the end of his days on play-by-play for the NBA, kind of slurping LeBron James. This was, it's meant like a kind of a fix, right? To help this retarded child get over the edge and put these excuses. They've already been fixed in. It's been a board meeting. Anything this guy does wrong, ignore it. Anything this guy does that looks like, what a basketball player would do on the court, just make it sound like it's the most brilliant, the greatest thing you ever seen. Doesn't matter if all the other guys are doing it or doing it better. Damn it. These are the rules, folks. These are the rules. I'm telling you, there's something ain't right, folks. Something ain't right. So, again, folks, whether you want to believe the fix was in or the fix wasn't, which to me, it doesn't add up to me, folks. This is a blowout. This is a blowout with the Lakers playing 50%, right? And then benching their starters maybe, a quarter way into the fourth quarter, right? This is what this game should have been like. There's no way. No, I don't care. Oh, man, well, they this, they that, man. They were playing off of courage, man. They was playing off of fortitude. They was playing off of wherewithal. They was playing off of... Be quiet, folks. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. It's the reason why all these players were laughing after the game. I mean, what? I don't understand what this celebration was about. I don't understand. And you could say that, okay, the Mavs beat the Lakers without their top guys. Okay. I guess they just beat Michael Jordan in, I don't know. I'm trying to see what the equivalent of Anthony Davis would be to Michael Jordan, maybe having a big man back in the day, right? Because we know we can't say Anthony Davis is the best big man in this game, right? As far as center. So I guess we would have to, because Joker is. So we would have to say he was second. So when Michael Jordan was 40 years old, let's look at the big man in the league. I guess, who was the second best big man in the league? I guess we would have to say Tim Duncan. I don't think Tim Duncan was better than Shaq at that point when Michael Jordan was 40. What was this, 2003? Yeah, it was close. I think they won the championship that year. It was close, folks. I would still say it was Shaq because Tim Duncan, you guys are going to say, is a power forward. And this was what's so crazy, the decline of the big man. That's all you can point at was Shaq. And Alonzo Mourning was old. Wasn't Kevin Garnett power forward? That's crazy. Sometimes he plays center. So yeah, it would be Shaq, right? It would be Shaq. So Michael Jordan and Shaq just got beat, and they were supposed to be top 10 players in the league, and they just got beat by a team. I don't know. Let's see. Back then, I'm trying to think of a team with two great players. I'm sure you guys are in the 2000s. I don't know. The NBA really wasn't that dominant back. I'm trying to tell you guys who had like two great players. I know it's not in the East. I can't think of any. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This era really wasn't that dominant in the early 2000s. Now the talent I think was more spread out. Hell, let's just say they just got beat by San Antonio, which really isn't a good team to use because they're really fundamentally sound. But still, we're talking about Jordan and Shaq being on the same team, right? As top 10 players in the league. So let's just say if Michael Jordan and Shaq just lost to a San Antonio team without Parker and Tim Duncan, do you really think Michael Jordan would be out there dapping people up? Or he would allow his team to be out there dapping dudes up? For what? And they play like boo. It ain't like, they took them down to the wire. Michael Jordan maybe would have sit there and dapped on the way out like, good game, boom. I don't think he would have, folks. I think he would have been disappointed. And maybe Shaq would have too. Shaq was different back then, folks. Shaq was real competitive. This is Michael Jordan and Shaq. And what they try to do in this game, they try to make up all excuses. Go back and listen to the play-by-play, guys. They was trying to make up all these excuses of why the Mavs were in front, winning this game, and they were going to win this game. Oh, it's just incredible how many games they were losing in a row and without Luka and Kyrie, and how many games they done lost overall in their last blah, blah, blah. But it shows you when a team comes together and they use this kind of will, and shut the hell up. What are you talking about? This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is why nobody watches the NBA. Because the play-by-play guys are idiots. This is why they have WNBA play-by-play women calling these games now. Because the guys that are supposed to be getting paid the good money for calling these games, they sound like idiots. They sound like they're trying to coddle their kids and make up excuses for their kids when they did something wrong. At a certain point, your parents say, Chris, you got to grow up. Megan, you got to grow up. Bill, you got to grow up. Keisha, you got to grow up. But guess what? The adults never grow up. Like I was saying back in the day, they would scold you and tell you what you was doing wrong on the court. As NBA analysts that knew NBA basketball and knew the history of the game. First of all, they can't do none of this now, right? Because there's no bad shots. These are guys literally playing a pickup game. There's no bad shots. You know why? Because they're taking bad shots all game. Stuff that would get you benched, yelled at, have you doing 10 laps in practice. All you heard from when the game started all the way until I could remember, until they changed the game for LeBron James, and maybe the 2-10-ish in the middle of it, all I remember from basketball was high percentage shots. You must take the most high percentage shot first. That's all we knew. That's all we heard. That's it, folks. So what do? They take all the big men out. Everybody sits on the perimeter, so there's no bad shots. Everybody's just playing a pickup game. And you maybe you hated me yesterday for making this video yesterday about the NBA being, whatever, stealing money from the fan base because the players aren't showing up. But hey, whatever. It's just a thought. It's just something that, to me, could be argued. But this right here also coincides with it. You're retarding the game. You're making the game a joke. And all these people in this thing play part in it, from the coaches to the players to the analysts to the coaches to the refs, all these people, and sometimes the fan base who don't know what basketball is. Go look at some of these fans in these games. These aren't the same fans from the 80s and 90s, or maybe not even the 2000s. You think you could sit there and travel and carry and stiff arm a dude? I don't care if the ref ain't calling it. You couldn't do that back in the day, and these fans just sitting around saying nothing and being cool with it. Dallas used to be a ruckus crowd. It used to be one of the best and craziest crowds in the NBA. These guys are weirdos now. They're just like sitting around eating popcorn. Really not even like, these don't even like seem like real fans. Again, go watch 80s and 90s basketball. You will get chill bumps listening to these crowds. It's crazy. It don't even seem real compared to these crowds. The emotions, everything. I don't know. I guess it just goes with this NBA, folks. I mean, how can you get that emotional anyway about your team, and when there's nothing to get emotional about? They're not playing intense basketball. So I guess I can apologize for that. You just wait for that rivalry. It's nothing. There's no rivalry. Where's the rivalries? Dude, it didn't matter if the players loved each other. They came on the court, no love. Because I don't want you to win. I want to win. I don't care if you are Michael Jordan. I want to say I beat Michael Jordan. For the LeBron fans, that's already been said. Everybody beat this guy. From the beginning. This guy got beat by international plumbers in the Olympics in 2004. They stopped this guy from making the damn playoffs his first two seasons. These plumbers that played in the 90s, they were still playing in the early 2000s. So these same plumbers from the 90s that sucked stopped your king from making the All-Star team in 2004, stopped them from making the playoffs in 2004 and 2005. He got beat by the Argentine Plumbers without one melanated brother on that team, like Stephen A. Smith likes to say, brother. Right? And then he goes to the 06 FIBA and gets destroyed by Plumbers again. And you have your fools, his fan, oh man, that don't count for nothing, man. Why were they there? What were they trying to prove? Oh, they just got beat by Argentine Plumbers in 04, so they back in the FIBA. In 06, after coming off great years in the NBA, right? After they just took out the defensive rules and got destroyed by Plumbers. Man, the FIBA don't mean nothing, man. Okay, why was they in the FIBA the next season? But this time, with Kobe Bryant, that they left for dead. And he brought back Kobe. This is the same the same dude that got beat by a Plumber in back-to-back years now. A Plumber with no All-NBA teammate, no All-NBA defensive teammate, no Hall of Fame teammate. Joker! Back-to-back years. While LeBron and AD, two top 75 teammates, All-NBA teammates. One is All-NBA defensive. Not to mention that this guy just let a Plumber win back-to-back slam dunk contest on his watch. And will this Plumber win a third? And not only that, because they're going to say, man, LeBron James didn't play against him. He didn't participate. Why is that on LeBron? In this era, a Plumber who ain't even in the NBA just won back-to-back slam dunk contest. What are we talking about, folks? And I hope the guy wins 3 in a row. And he beat, the guys who's supposed to be the most athletic dudes of all time, this era. We know these guys can't dunk. They suck. As far as having any style, you look back in the day at the guys in the 80s, and that's how they were supposed to dunk. This thing was just coming about. So back then, how they was, doing these dunks, it was great. And then we go to the 90s, you can see it evolving to the 90s, to the 2000s, to the 2010s. What happened today in the 2020s? These guys have no dunking skills because all they do is shoot threes. Anthony Edwards, I'm not buying that this guy's a great dunker. His greatest dunk is not even putting his hand on the damn rim, throwing the ball in. He's not one of the greatest dunkers I've ever seen. No. Why? Because he can just dunk? Those are just straight dunks. Where's the flair? Where's the creativity of him going to the damn rim on a fast break? He ain't got to dunk on nobody. I ain't saying that. On a fast break, where's the creativity of him doing dunks? A windmill, behind the back, 360, anything. This guy's just doing a basic slam dunk over a Plumber to me. These skinny three-point shooters. That's it. For you, that's great because you guys never see people dunk no more. Hell, I'll take the Shaq Attack dunks over any guys in this era in the 2020s. Seriously. It's a snooze fest when you watch these guys. All they do is try to find an open three-point guy. Where's the post moves, the paint work? Where's the middies? Where's it going to the basket and dumping it off to a dude that's right next to you in the damn lane? Or driving to the basket and kicking out to a three-point guy. A pick and roll. Not this crap. Oh, man, I need a pick just so I can pass this guy so I can shoot a three. What a bunch of sissies. Don't watch the NBA back in the day. Dudes didn't need no pick and roll just to get a shot off. This is crazy. Dudes only need a pick so they can pick and roll to the basket, maybe. If they did that. Man, I need a pick, man, so I can shoot my three, man. If I don't get no pick, man, I ain't gonna be able to shoot my three, man. If I don't get no pick, man, I can't go to the basket. Bunch of sissies. For real, a bunch of overpaid sissies. In a video I made yesterday, I hope they don't get paid this kind of money because they don't deserve it, folks. They only can do one thing. And the commissioner is to blame for this, folks. He's making all these teams play the same style of basketball, right? All of them. There ain't no coincidence that they're all sitting on the perimeter shooting threes. If you don't play by this commissioner's rules, you can't play in this league. Have you ever seen anything like that? We've never seen nothing like that, folks. You're damn right Michael Jordan couldn't play in this era. In 80s and 90s players. They couldn't. They would never make it. They played actual basketball. Again, I like to use this terminology right here. Or not terminology, but analogy, whatever you want to call it, to compare this. If the NFL, right, which is getting real soft, and I saw, look, we talked about this yesterday, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything like this, and, hearts out to whoever happened to, and the fact that it happened in New Orleans, period. But they were taking time out. It's great, whatever. But, it was only for like it seemed like it was 5 seconds, right? They acknowledged what happened in New Orleans. But to me, why are we holding hands, folks? Why are grown men about to play a football game holding hands? It's just, I just can't get with it, man. It don't look right, man. I know this is more than football, but man, we just, I just can't, man. Now, not if it's before a football game. If it was one of the football game, I could understand something like that. But it's right before a football game, man. These players were just holding each other's hand, at these soccer games, right? They be holding the kids' hands before the soccer game. They bring out all these kids or whatever like that. But let's just say the NFL, right? They take out a lot of what made the NFL. They take out the offensive line, the defensive line, and that's what you have. You can't rush the quarterback, and you can't touch the quarterback unless he passes the line of scrimmage, right? So you keep everybody else, you keep your defensive backs, keep your linebackers, you keep your safeties, all those guys, right? And you keep your tight ends, your running backs, your wide receivers, and stuff like that. Would that be the NFL, folks? If they took out the offensive line and the defensive line? Yes, you could call that the NFL. Yes, you could make that work. But it's a lot of pieces you're missing. Yes, this thing that they have today is called music. But when you take out the harmony out of music and you just have a beat that says tick, 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 that's your new harmony. And you take out the instruments, right? The keyboard, the piano, the electric guitar, the guitar, the real drums, the xylophone, all these instruments that it wasn't just the person who made the song. It was the instruments that hit hard, that mesmerized you. That's what made the music. Don't matter what kind of music it was. Hip hop, R&B, soul, soft rock, country. They literally took the soul and the harmony out of music by taking the instruments out of the music. So basically, you're listening to dead music. Are they still listening to it? That's all they have. That's all they have. So they think it's good. They think it's great. And on top of that, if it couldn't get any worse, they had the singers mumbling. They have the rappers singing. So you can't go with the original, what they did in the old music, right? Because it won't match up to the beats and the instruments they have in today's music, which is dead music. It's real low hertz music. It's like music you would listen to. Oh, what the hell is this? It's ugly. It's ugly sounding music, right? That they got is real ugly. So the NBA, what is going on, folks? They took out defense. They took out big man. They took out positional players. They took out positional skills. They took out rules. What the hell? They've taken out men. I was saying something about this the other day, and I keep saying it. Look at the players in the 2000s, the 80s, the 90s, the 70s. These guys look like men because they were men. But what I'm trying to say is, you go look at the players today, they're skinny and frail. Look like they don't know what a weight room is. WNBA players are big as them. It would be a joke if you put these guys back in the day. They would get literally manhandled. They would be told, you got to grow up. These guys look like the dudes that was in high school back in the 80s and 90s. At best, college, they're so dinky. Dinky. And LeBron James just running over them like damn bowling pins. You guys are let me get off of here, man. I can go in. But yeah, who had the numbers right? Who had the game right? Who had it right? This is an embarrassment to the NBA. What happened last night? No way they should have won. No way. By 1 point, 2 points, no way the Mavs should have won this. Even if you're not a fan of any team, you should want your money back. This is embarrassing. Well, good thing sports gambling ain't legal. Oh, yes it is.